All right, welcome back, crime fighters, for another edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted, the program where you get to help make Calhoun County a better and safer place. Lindy is our chief deputy. Good to see you again.
Thank you. It's nice being here.
All right, appreciate you keeping us all safe throughout the week.
I'm trying to.
I've been safe at least. I hope everybody else has been. Has it been a good week?
It has been.
Good. All right. And of course, our viewers, as always, helping us out.
Yes, absolutely. So far, our total count is 4,463, so we've got an additional 3 arrests from last week.
Very good. Do you think we'll have an uptick next week with the race coming into Talladega, or do we normally have people pretty well behaved?
Well,
I know not in the infield and the campground, but as far as Calhoun County is concerned.
Sunday during the daytime, afternoon, we may get start getting a lot of calls as far as, you know, domestics and people being intoxicated. But for the most part, though, with dealing with a crowd, that's one thing you need to be conscious of and stuff, as far as, you know, all the traffic in the crowd. But for the most part, everything it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's different from what it was 15, 20, 30 years ago. It used to be a different experience, and now they do more of keeping folks out at the track, I think. And
right.
Less of that comes into Calhoun County, but there is still additional traffic to watch out for and all those things.
And especially after the race. I mean, you'll know when the race is over with. It'll be bumper-to-bumper traffic on I-20, so that's things to be aware of. And during, you can notice an influx in traffic on Saturdays, especially around the Lincoln, Oxford area, where people are buying stuff for the race.
About 2 o'clock on Sunday, you can go wherever you want to with no trouble.
Yes.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will have the first half of this week's lineup for you here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. All right, let's catch some folks, shall we? This is the first half of our lineup for this week on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. We start off with DeQuarius Garrett of Talladega, wanted on a failure to appear warrant for possession of a controlled substance and possession of marijuana, 2nd degree. Stephen Bailey of Ashland is wanted on a failure to appear warrant for use and possession of drug paraphernalia. James Trammell Jr. of Anniston wanted for failure to pay for obstruction of justice using a false ID. Jamie Elliott of Piedmont wanted on a probation violation for obstruction of justice using a false ID. Shabrina Jason of Huntsville wanted on a failure to appear warrant for receiving stolen property, 3rd degree. Dustin Proctor of Cedartown, Georgia, wanted on a probation violation for theft of property, 3rd degree. And Joy Moreland of Talladega wanted on a probation violation for fraudulent use of a credit card. That's the first half of this week's lineup. If you have information, we would appreciate you sharing that. Call 256-238-1414. All right, we will have the second half of this week's lineup coming up in just a few minutes. But Lindy, let's talk about something positive in the community. We always try to have some positive in there.
Yes, we always try to get some positivity going. Let's talk about kids today and why.
Maggie Byrne Owens is the president and CEO of the YMCA in Calhoun County. Good to see you, Maggie.
Good to see you again. Thank you for inviting me.
You know, the Y is actually where my wife and I met almost exactly 16 years ago.
Oh, wow. Wonderful.
Yeah. So
we've had a lot of folks that have met in fitness classes or just bypassing going to a fitness class or a swim lesson. So it's nice to, you know, have that kind of interaction with our members, and so it's really neat.
A lot of us that are my age, you know, we grew up with a certain connection to the Y. I did the summer camp, and we had some swimming lessons and things like that. How much has the Y changed over the years? What's still the same, and what might people not know that the Y is all about today?
Well, we still have all those things, plus we've increased by doing, say, we're doing dance classes, like once a month in Saturday down at the Oxford YMCA, we are doing a youth dance class, and we just started this the first Saturday of each month. We still have summer day camps, but that kind of, the summer day camps, you know, parents need full-time child care in the summertime. Well, during the school year, parents need childcare when the kids are out of school, which we call Schools Out Fun Days. And so we do programs for the kids then from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. for the working parents that need somewhere for their kids to go so that they're not left alone at home, and that they have a safe place to go. We keep them busy by doing activities, whether we're in the gym or across the street, it's in park, or we're swimming. We're doing all kinds of, you know, hands-on type activities, and they're not sitting in front of a TV or not playing games or, you know, on a cell phone all the time. We call it, at the Y, we're on electronic shutdown. They are doing activities, you know, running and playing and enjoying and interacting with other children.
Yeah, that's great. It's such an important program to have, and being right there downtown Anniston, I think is just it's an important part of the city of Anniston and of Calhoun County.
Correct. We have kids not only from the city, we have them from the county, Oxford. We've had Heflin kids, you know, from Cleburne County. We have them from all over that come, and you know, we have 8 after-school sites. That's something that we started several years ago, and we're in 8 schools. We're in 5 county schools and 3 Anniston city schools, and we do homework help with the kids. We do health and wellness with the kids, and we do reading. That's a extremely big focus point for us, is that we want to make sure that the kids are reading, so we do 30 minutes of reading every day with the kids, except Friday. Fridays are our Friday fun days, which is no homework. It's strictly fun and doing activities because they've worked so hard during the week. They need a release time, and so we just play and have fun on Fridays.
Well, and too, and we were talking about earlier about right now, people don't think it's a perfect time for swim lessons.
Correct. We have swim lessons the Y does year-round swim lessons, and we have Saturday swim lessons, we have Friday swim lessons, and Tuesday, Thursday swim lessons. So you can do a session of 8 classes or a session of 4 classes on Fridays and Saturdays, and you can get started early so that your kids are swimming when it comes to summertime and not waiting till May and think, oh, I need to put my child in swim lessons. And so we're doing swim lessons May and June and part of July, and so maybe August they're swimming. If you start them now, they'll be swimming by spring, and in the summertime you'll be able to enjoy that outdoors and going to the beach and, you know, being secure that your child can save themselves in a pool. And we do teach that, is not only swim lessons, but teaching children how to, if they fall in a pool, how to climb out of the pool and get out of there safely.
And unfortunately, we've seen how important it is to
Correct.
have those skills.
Correct.
That's not some pie in the sky thing that doesn't actually happen.
Correct.
It does and has, and unfortunately I'm sure will again, but there are things that we can do to make sure that our kids are much less likely to be victims of that. Correct.
And adults as well. We have seen in the last 2 to 3 years a high enrollment of adults learning how to swim. They have come to us and said, hey, you know, do you do adults? Absolutely. We've always done adult swim classes, but they're filling up. And they don't want to be left out in the summertime while the kids are playing in the pool. They think, you know, we want to get in the pool with them so they feel safer if they know, and we feel safer if they know how to swim and are able to save themselves as well. So, you know, we do preschool, young children, teens, and adults. So we do all ages.
That's an important point to make there, because a lot of people do kind of look at the YMCA and think about all the great kids programs and kind of overlook the fact that not just with swim lessons, there is a lot going on for adults.
Adults, we have
We get the first aid and CPR class.
Right. We have first aid CPR classes that we offer once a month. Every 3rd Saturday, we on a monthly basis, every 3rd Saturday, we're doing CPR first aid for the community as well as, you know, our staff, because all our staff have to be certified. So, but we've opened it up to the community. So call the YMCA, we'll get you enrolled in a class.
All right. But we need to take a break here in a second, and we'll talk about some more things, because there's so much more to the Y that people just don't see, or they forget, or whatever. So we want to talk about that. We'll be back in just a few moments. We'll have the second half of this week's lineup as well when we come back on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. All right, here's the second half of this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Leslie Tucker of Munford is wanted on a probation violation for assault first degree and certain persons forbidden to possess a firearm. Michael Goins of East Aboga is wanted on a failure to appear warrant for theft by deception, first degree. Dolores Russell of Talladega wanted for child support. Stephen Horn of Oxford wanted for distribution of a controlled substance. John Bennett of Selma wanted on 2 counts of distribution of a controlled substance. Joseph Holloway of Talladega is wanted on a probation revocation for obstruction of justice using a false ID. Again, the number to call if you have information is 256-238-1414. In an emergency situation, always call 911, but if you've got just a tip to share with us, please call Calhoun County Crime Stoppers. They want your information, not your name, and you could get a cash reward of up to $1,000. All right, we are back. Coming up in a few minutes, we will have the Crime Stopper segment of the show. We'll talk about some property crimes we need your help with. We'll also have our crazy criminal of the week. We've got a real-life jailbird this week.
Oh, great.
But right now, Maggie Byrne Owens, President and CEO of the YMCA, is with us, talking about all the great programs that you have there. And, of course, this is in some ways a little bit of a slow time, but also not really.
Correct.
Not as visible a time for the YMCA in the fall, but you do have some important things going on, especially with the fall break coming up.
Right. We have a fall break coming up and here in October, this full week of when the kids are going to be out of school, and that Monday through Friday we will have staff there. We'll be doing activities, swimming, going across the street, arts and crafts, going to the playground across the street is in park, arts and crafts, and just game time, and then playing in the gym, doing some sports with basketball, soccer, you name it, we'll do.
I'm sure we've got some parents and possibly grandparents as well watching right now saying, boy, that would just be so helpful if only we could afford it. They may be able to get some assistance.
Right. We have financial assistance available at the YMCA. All you do is come by the YMCA, fill out a scholarship application. We do up to 50% off of our fees. Sometimes it depends on the number of people and the family. We might do a little bit more, but we want everybody to be involved in the YMCA. We don't want to exclude anyone from our programs, whether it be adults or youth. So we want them involved, and we want them to have a safe place for your child to be while you're working,
Maggie, you don't just work at the Y.
No.
You live the Y. You love the Y.
I do.
You've been there for how long now?
It'll be 30 years in December.
Wow. What is it about the YMCA that just lights your fire?
Well, I started out as a youth in the program at the Y. So I started out in the high Y program. Betty Carr was my mentor, and everybody in Calhoun County knows Betty Carr. Mm-hmm. And I was in the high Y program, which is high school YMCA, then volunteered. But, how many people can say they get to play for a living? I mean, that's what we do, is we get to play. I mean, there's a lot of work, and there's a lot of, background stuff that we have to do with annual campaign, raising money so we can scholarship people to the Y. But I get to go out to the after-school sites and visit the sites and meet, be with all the children. I also get to meet with these parents who need our program so that they can stay working. If we didn't have these programs, a lot of these parents couldn't work. So, and how we benefit our community. It's our mission to be engaged with the community, be out there doing things that the community needs and be there for our community. And that's what the Y is all about. And, for everybody. It's for all.
And you've been there long enough now that you're able to see folks that were kids when you started working there, that were in those kid programs.
Right, I see their children, and that I see things, and I tell people I see things that have come full circle, and so I say, these are my grandchildren. You guys were my children. Now I'm seeing your children come through, which I treat them like they're my grandchildren, and what's nice is when you see these kids, I'll be out somewhere. There's Miss Maggie, and they all call me Miss Maggie, and when I see adults will come up and these kids will say, Mom, why are you calling her Miss Maggie? And she said, I came to the Y when Miss Maggie was there, and now you're coming with her. And so I get to see things come full circle, and it means a lot to me that they love the Y in order to bring back their children. And you hope that those children will bring their children, that it just, will continue to cycle on.
what people that are watching right now saying, yeah, this is a great program, this is important for our community.
Absolutely.
What can we do to help support what's happening at the Y?
Well, call the YMCA. You can support it. In January we have our annual campaign. Support it by making donations. Just come by and see the Y, tour the Y. We'll give you a daily guest, we've got guest passes that we can give you. Try out our programs, try out our fitness classes, come swim with your family. We love when families come in and work out together, swim together, play basketball together. We have a lot of families that will do that. So just come by the YMCA and find out what we're about.
And of course, coming up at Thanksgiving, you can even run to support
Right,
the Y.
we have, the Anniston Runners Club has a plucked turkey trot, 10K run. And it's in Golden Springs. We have a course, it's certified. We have about 200 people that will come out and run each year. And it's a fun morning. Come out and work off those calories before you eat that Thanksgiving lunch.
Yeah.
Are you going to run?
I don't know about that. I may or may. I've got
But
some
we
work
do.
to do.
We have about 200 folks that come out, and we've been doing this for, I want to say, at least 20 years.
Yeah.
It's a great run. It's a fun run, and so come out and support it.
It is nice to get that in, and then you can really enjoy your Thanksgiving
Absolutely.
dinner and not feel guilty about
Run
it
off
at
those
all.
calories before the Thanksgiving run.
And then my wife will do her run after Thanksgiving dinner down to the stores.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank
Well,
you.
Maggie, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Keep up the good work. We will be back in just a few moments. We will have the Crime Stoppers segment of the show, talk about some property crimes that hopefully you can help us with. And we'll have our Crazy Criminal of the Week, a real-life jailbird, coming up next on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. All right, let's see if you can help us with some property crimes this week. On September 22nd, a black 12 by 6 foot trailer was stolen from a residence on Alexandria-Jacksonville Highway in Jacksonville. Between August 19th and September 4th, a Century Arms pistol was stolen from a vehicle parked on Church Street in Hobson City. On September 24th, a burglary occurred at a residence on Lee Van Road in Alexandria. A Ryobi drill, a safe with case knives in it, and a Murray weed eater were stolen. On September 25th, the building located on Smith Street in Oxford was broken into. A window was damaged. Between September 24th and September 25th, a theft of property occurred at a residence on Clark Road in Jacksonville. 4 blue boat seats, an interstate battery, and a Black & Decker drill were stolen. Between September 26th and September 28th, a burglary occurred on Hickory Street in Oxford. Damage was done to the doors. And on September 28th, the theft of a black and blue Polaris RZR occurred at a residence on Mud Street. Again, the number to call if you have information is Calhoun County Crime Stoppers, 256-238-1414. We want your information, not your name, and you could get a cash reward of up to $1,000.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
All right, we've got a real-life jailbird for our crazy criminal this week, Lindy. And
All right.
This may be our cutest crazy criminal in a while. There you go. A cute little parakeet.
Oh, okay.
Arrested in the Netherlands. The police arrested a man for shoplifting, and he had a pet parakeet with him. So they not only arrested the man, but they arrested his feathered accomplice as well. And as you can see, put the parakeet in its own cell there.
That's true life giving law enforcement the bird.
They say that the bird was a witness at the very least to the crime, so I don't know if he'll be able to, give out the dirt on his owner or not. But I know a man can't be forced to testify against his wife. Can a bird be forced to testify against his owner?
I don't know. We did have the dog lead us to his owner.
Did you? That's always good. And you also had a snake that you arrested here recently, didn't you?
We did have a snake incident yesterday in investigations. It was an excitement for the investigators and employment down there. So one was caught in the glue trap. So.
Okay. Whatever you do, don't put the snake in the same cell with the parakeet.
There you go.
That would not end well, at least not for the parakeet. Snake would be happy with that, but the parakeet would not. All right, so there you go. We do appreciate you tuning in for Calhoun County's Most Wanted. We greatly appreciate all of you who take the time to share any information that you have with us. by calling 256-238-1414. Remember, we want your information, not your name. You could get a cash reward of up to $1,000. We'll be looking for you again next week, but hopefully not in a glue trap
Hopefully not.
or with a mischievous parakeet on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.